Well, don't spend on things that lose value. Madami sa atin, bili ng asset wealth. Quote.
At saka yung mga nagde-depreciate.
Exactly, that lose value.
Ayun.
Kotse. Nakikita mo pag, sa TV, pag ini-interview nyo, oh, kumita ka ng 1 million, anong bibilin mo? Kotse na agad eh. Diba? Kotse na. Maring kailangan niya, but why buy the 800,000 car? Maybe you can buy a 400,000 car.
You know why that makes a lot of sense? I manage over 20 talents, singers, actors, and I always tell my artists, lalo na yung mga bago palang kumikita, kasi tama ho kayo, the first thing they say is, I want to buy a car because I need a car for my mobility. But I always say, you don't need to borrow a lot of money to be able to afford an 8 million car when you're just earning, I mean, not as much yet, no? So sinasabi ko, there's nothing wrong about a second-hand car that runs well.
Correct. Huwag ka lang ibibitin.
Correct.
A good brand new 400, 500,000 car, meron naman eh.
So that's very important. Don't buy things that lose value. Totoo yun.
Isa pa, and most people take it for granted. If you don't have a target, there is no way for you to grow anything seriously. Kasi every transaction that is presented to you, or every opportunity that is presented to you, transactional ang frame of mind mo.
Right.
It's not related to any future target. Therefore, you don't manage risk. Everything in life is risk-driven. But 80% of people, maybe even more, concentrate yung anong kikitain. The return. Returns generally are beyond our control. Generally. Risks are within our control. But why do we focus on those things that are beyond our control?
We should focus on the things that we can
control.
Actually control.
But we can do that well if we have targets, setting our goals. Now, for example, if I want to earn or accumulate for every million peso that I want to accumulate, if my target is 20 years, I need, or 30 years, I need 10 million. For example, that's for my
retirement,
for example. For every million, how much should I save? So, assess mo yung risk mo ngayon. Do you know that if you earn 20% every year, cumulatively, you only need to save 65 pesos a day for every million? Okay. So, if you want 10 million, 650 pesos. That's less than 33 pesos a day. Right? That's the amount you spend for smoking, maybe.
Right.
So, if you can risk 650 a month, or 65 pesos a month rather, 650 if it's 10 million that you're after.
Right.
Siguro you can take a bigger risk, at least na pera eh.
A month or a day?
A month.
A month.
650
in 30
a month.
years. Right. Okay.
Cumulative. At earning at 20%. Although sabihin natin walang guarantee. I'm just trying to demonstrate
But that's
the risk
even a
assessment.
But that's even a calculated risk. I mean, because it's not a risk as if, it's a risk that you can actually really control.
Well, you can control it in the sense that to get that 10 million, 650 pesos is, I think, something you can risk. That's what you spend in one day in the mall. Eh?
Right.
So you can take that risk. Now, if that's the only money you have, then you won't take that risk to go after 20%. You'll go after an investment that will generate 10% less risk.
But you also know, I hate to use this word, I'm really sorry because this is not original, but you also know what is permissible risk.
Yeah.
Di ba? Ikaw ang makakapagsabi sa sarili mo.
Tatlo susi natin, 4 ang susi natin sa buhay to generate wealth. Time is what we have.
Of course.
Rich or poor, we have 24 hours a day. Diba? Now, what do we do with time? That's a challenge. We can use it by playing billiards every day. Just wait for the remittance of mama on the 15th and enjoy. Billiard na naman. And that yet, meron na naman. That's
you
happening.
You have the choice, and you have the power with what to do with the time. Okay.
Now, if you're saving, you accept the message that you have to pay yourself. You need time to grow that.
That's the second one.
Second, how do you grow it? Compounding your money. Compounding simply means leaving your money alone. If it's in an instrument that generates 10, 15% a year, leave it alone. Interest on interest, interest on interest. Roll your money.
Okay.
The third, because 95% of Filipinos really were not born with money. You know? Intellectual capital and tayo. Maybe education over time.
Which is fine. Which is
Fine.
fabulous.
That's wealth. That's,
yes, it's
that's
wealth.
the primary mover for wealth generation.
Right, okay.
We need to use the three kinds of what I call leverage, or yung panikwas, to give us more capital or resources. Three kinds yan. People leverage. If you have a like-minded individuals, then we can learn from each other. I teach you what I know, you teach me what you know. We generate opportunities for us together, like cooperatives and other associations.
All right.
Then good debt, that's leverage. You have 200,000 pesos to buy a particular franchise, you borrow another 200,000. So instead of making only, let's say, 100,000 every year, now you make 200,000, less whatever cost of debt. That's good debt.
Magandang utang, in other words.
Good debt.
Okay.
Hindi yung debt na pinambili ng bagong cellphone.
At ipinamili ng bagong sasakyan.
Iba yan.
Hindi ba? Na nagde-depreciate. Okay, the third
Because
one.
that increases. The third one is bakas, pooling.
That's right.
Di ba sa, which is mutual funds, for
Alam ko yan,
example.
bakas tayo. Oo.
Ang minimum na investment, sige natin, 10,000. 1,000 lang pera ko eh. Bakas ako.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's leverage.
Okay.
So if you don't have that minimum yet, start with this, what you have. Have that winning experience. Then it becomes a habit.
Okay, tatlo pa lamang po yun. The fourth key,
Pang-apat is the most important.
which is?
What in finance is called asset allocation. Meaning, don't put your eggs in one basket. The most powerful tool to manage risk.
Okay, can you be more specific with asset allocation?
Very simple example. Ako, pag nagbibiyahe ko sa isang lugar na I'm not familiar with, yung pera ko, yung isang bulsa meron, sa isang bulsa meron, sa front pocket meron, sa wallet meron, madukutan naman ako sa isa, pwede pa.
Totoo.
That's asset allocation. Minamanage ko yung risk.
That's right.
So, the principle in asset allocation, yung mga ginagawa mo, sana hindi correlated. Meaning, independent factor siya. Halimbawa, nag-invest ka sa lupa, nag-invest ka sa stocks, nag-invest ka sa gold, walang masyadong correlation yan.
Ah, okay.
That's the best. That's the ideal. Okay? That's the fund management principle, the best modern portfolio theory kung tawagin nila. The most uncorrelated.
Papax, and you don't even have to understand certain businesses because there are people who are experts who can help you understand these
course.
businesses. Kasi kadalasan, ang mindset, again, that mindset is, I'm not going to go into a business. I'm not going to invest my money on a business that I do not understand. So
Correct.
tama lamang, may flower shop kami, nag-aantay kami ng dividends ngayon. Meron